Hey everyone, it's Zai. So we're doing something a little different today. I'm doing a collab with my buddy Kade. He's on Instagram and on YouTube, so definitely check it out. I'm gonna let him introduce this, so take over.
Hey, what's up? My name is Kade, and today I am so excited to be doing this collab with one of my close YouTube friends, Zai, or you may know him as some type of gay. Today, we'll be talking about unsupportive parents, and if you have those, I'm sure you're gonna definitely relate to this video.
We're gonna start off with Kade talking about his experience with his mom and dad and everybody, so let's get into that.
Everybody has completely different experiences, that's why I want to share this, my experience as well as, Zai talking about it. Before we start talking about unsupportive parents, I'm about to, hold on.
Let me just, hold up. Let me just.
So when I came out as trans, both of my parents really didn't care, but in completely different ways. With my mom, she was a lot more supportive. It was just like I told her, and the biggest thing with my mom, and I love her for this, is as long as all of her children, me and my two sisters, are happy, healthy, are not hurting anyone, what we're doing, she's like, "Okay, I'll do my best to support you in that." She just wants us to be alive, so that makes me really happy and makes me a lot more comfortable trying to continue to be who I want to be, and it makes me a lot more open to wanting to have a relationship with my mom. Even though she didn't quote unquote care that I was trans, she, totally respected it to the best of her ability. It took me a while to be able to realize that I was trans myself, so of course I had to give her a little bit of slack. It took about a year or so for her to actually do good pronouns as well as my name Kade, but I understand, and so I'm really grateful for my mom, even though she doesn't care I'm trans. That she's just more like, I'm happy that you are you being Kade and being who you are, so that makes me super happy. Now, let's talk about the other side of a parent not caring if you're trans. When it comes to my dad, it was a completely different situation. Yes, he didn't care that I was trans, but here's the thing. He doesn't care about a lot of things in general when it comes to his children's lives. When I told him, it basically went in one ear and went out the other. With me coming out as trans in the first year and a half or so, actually, let's be honest here. So when I first came out as trans to my dad, it was at least in the first few years that it was like he didn't really care when I corrected myself, when I corrected him when he said the incorrect pronouns or the incorrect name, the small amount of time that I actually spent with him, I would correct him on it, but the same way that I told him how he reacted, it just went in one ear and went out the other, and just continued on with the conversation. Would just keep doing it, keep saying she, or even one time when we were in the mall, we were walking around the mall, I had to go pee, there was a big line in the men's room, he was like, "Oh, you could go to the bathroom, I have to wait." At this point, I already had kind of a beard. Thinking about that retrospectively, I could go on a whole rant, Zai, please cut this out. A few years after taking testosterone, and when I basically had more muscle mass than my dad, his point of view slowly started to change. With my dad, he never wants to really acknowledge feelings, he just wants to pass it off on too many hormones in some type of way. So his comments originally were, not doing my name correctly and misgendering me and saying that I must be on my period, to eventually saying that I was just so full of testosterone and I was super angry all the time because of that. Just because someone has different hormones in their bodies doesn't make their feelings any less valid, by the way. So with my dad, I think that I am grateful for the fact that he actually at least is trying to say my correct name nowadays. He will just look pretty freaking silly when he is misgendering me, especially in public with this beard and having more muscle than him at this point. I don't give a f. You know, I'm at least grateful that my parents are willing to try. I love my mom and my dad, but I think that it's best now that I am moved into my own place. I just get to limit as much time as I want with both of them, especially if, you know, my dad is being extra spicy, not wanting to respect who I am. That's how my parents are. I'm really grateful that they both at least try-ish, but I also am grateful that they didn't completely disown me. Isn't that LGBT culture? I'm glad my parents didn't completely disown me. So that is what my experience is like with my parents. So Zai, what is your experience with your parents?
So, when I came out to my mother, it was interesting. At first, she didn't seem to like it at all. She was nodding no and not giving me much responses. This was in person, by the way. My grandma, I don't have my dad around. He died when I was 11, so I know he would not support me. Yes, Daddy, I'm calling you the f*** out. I know you wouldn't support me wherever the f*** you are. You know, I went back home because I don't live with my family, and over the next week, she started texting me and telling me a lot of horrible things, calling me a lot of slurs, not just trans-related slurs, just horrible, like, horrible things to call anybody as a human being. So I was just dumbfounded with why an adult would act like that, especially towards their child, and I am obviously the more mature one in the situation, and I argued with her back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you know, all these screenshots of all the horrible things she said to me. If I put them on here, everybody would be really, really mad. Y'all would be really, really mad about somebody talking to somebody like that. And all I did was come out to her in person. I didn't fight with her in person. I asked her, why are you nodding no? Why are you laughing at me? But I didn't, you know, like, I wasn't rude to her in any way. And she kept doing that for months. Every time she would text me, it would just be something horrible. You know, oh, you're gonna get this stitched on, and da-da-da, are you gonna do this? Oh, you're gonna mutilate it, blah, blah, blah. So I just stopped telling her anything. She lost the right to know anything. And yeah, and I didn't visit her for a year and a half because of that. And I actually have a video where I visited her. It was semi-recently, it was like last fall. Anyways, I'll put that little link down here, so if you guys do want to watch that and see how that went, you can see that. I had a beard at the time. I was, you know, what was I, a year on T, or almost a year on T, something along those lines. So when she saw me, I looked very, very different. I threatened her with it multiple times that I will kick her out of my life if she keeps treating me like shit and being a horrible person to me. And she kept doing it for a while, so I stopped talking to her for a while. And then on and off, I would respond here and there, but I would never really get into a conversation with her anymore, and that just was her loss. The reason why I did visit was because she messaged me and said something like, you know, I'll let God take it and this and that, and it was her form of trying to accept me. And before, she had never tried to call me he, she had never tried to call me Zai or Zion. She would be dead naming me. And I would tell her, don't call me that, or I will not talk to you. I literally don't give a singular f***. I will not talk to you. I will cut you out of my life. No, I don't need you. I don't need that energy. And she eventually took, what, a year and a half for her to take it seriously. And then she started trying out of nowhere. I don't know why. She probably missed me. I know she missed me. I don't know what other reasons, but she started trying out of nowhere. And that's why I went to go visit her. Obviously, she's not perfect with, you know, stuff like that, but when she sends me things in the mail now, she sends my proper name on them. Sometimes she puts Zion/dead name, and I'm just like, oh my god. I think this is shows that there is hope that people can accept you eventually, even if they don't understand it. Good thing about passing now is that if my mom did decide to all of a sudden reject me again, she would quite literally make herself look like a fool, because I don't think I look like a woman. That is just the bottom line. But yep, everybody, thank you for watching. Definitely go follow Kade on Instagram.
Zai, thank you so much for having me on your channel. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you have a great day. You are beautiful, and peace. Feel free to check out my channel as well.
Peace out, y'all. Thank you guys for watching.